Hey everyone, Mike here, Rusty Garage and Homestead. Thanks for joining us once again. I'm gonna go get Tiny, bring it down to a shady spot in the yard, and we're gonna do a little install today. So stay tuned, I'll tell you what we got. All right everyone, Tiny's behind me. So over the years, I've replaced a lot of hydraulic hoses in engine compartments, in articulation points, loader frames, backhoes, excavators, all sorts of stuff. And one thing I've learned is anytime you have a hydraulic hose that is close or is touching a metal frame or another hose, it's going to end up rubbing a hole in it and you're going to get a leak there. So some manufacturers use different wraps around hoses if they are touching a frame or anything like that, because those hoses are going to sit there and slightly move back and forth while the machine's running. The only way to really protect it is to have it in a clamp somewhere where it's fixed, where it's not touching and rubbing anything, or put a protective sleeve around it, and that's going to make it last a lot longer. Okay, so you can see here on Tiny, all the hoses have a protective sleeve around them. Up here, outriggers, the hoses that connect to the mast itself. Up here on the tractor, you've got this big hoodus of hoses hanging off the outside. Still not sure exactly why. Maybe, okay, that's for whenever you unhook, so you have a little extra room whenever you back up to be able to unhook everything. But still, it's got a protective sleeve around it. Down here underneath, these hoses, they've all got a protective sleeve around them. But this third function, this WR long third function that I've got, these hoses come right on up. They lay right up against the loader frame here, and then they're zip tied to some other hoses right here. Now, I do not like that. That's still probably going to last a long, long time, but over the years, these things are just going to droop, sag more, and it's just going to sit there and rub. Moving this loader up and down, and just the vibration of everything, you're going to sit there and rub holes in your hydraulic hoses. Okay, the product I got for this machine is not sponsored. I bought it myself. It's just something I feel that this needs, just to help prolong the life of the hoses that are on here. So let me show you what that is. Okay, so the product I've got is from Outback Wraps. This is the Anaconda wrap. It's 1.25 inches. They've got this in green, orange, blue, red, black, whatever color you want, they've got it. But this is just a protective sleeve that's gonna wrap around those third function hoses or whatever hoses you'd wanna wrap them around. And it's kind of a hard plastic exterior, so that's gonna keep your hoses from rubbing up against something and getting a hole in it. Okay, so we'll get that open, and I'm gonna start right up here and work my way down. So we've got potentially a contact point with the hoses right here. Come on down a little further where it's zip tied. Right in here, it's going to be rubbing up against these. And then if you follow this all the way down, these bucket hoses here, it's in contact with those. So 3 different spots that these third function hoses are touching. So let's fix that. Okay, like I said, first thing I'm going to do, cut these off. So if this zip tie wasn't there, it would just be laying down on these steel tubes. At that point, that's fine. We're gonna get this wrap on there, and it's not gonna matter what it's laying up against. This, I believe, is a 10-foot span of this stuff. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna come up to the hose and open this thing up and just start wrapping it around your hoses. And this can go out to a fairly large size or back small. This is rated, I think this is called 1.25 inches diameter, but that's gonna be just as it is. These things can flare out some for bigger stuff, because I am wrapping around 2 different hoses. Now this is the long part of it. Just a lot of back and forth, wrapping it around. If there's an easier way to do this, somebody let me know. Drop a comment. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need all 10 feet of this. If I have extra, I may find something else to put the leftovers on. We're at the end of this, so I'm just going to take some tin snips and cut this right here. We'll be done with that. Okay, you can see we're done. It is all on the third function all the way down. Now I think I do have probably 3 foot of this stuff left, so I think I'm going to go ahead and put just a little piece right here on each one of these so it doesn't rub there, and same with this piece here, because these hoses are just as susceptible to getting holes rubbed in them. So now that this has a protective sheath on it, I'm gonna go ahead and protect the rest of these since I got the extra. So I'm not having to flip the entire section around. I'm just gonna kind of hold it up here and cut off what I need, which that looks about right here. I guess this is another option. You can sit here and just twist it, as long as it'll keep going. It's kind of threading itself on. Okay, that's going to protect all these hoses right up here just fine. Last piece, go ahead and throw on here. Both these pieces, and I think we'll be done. Got 10 feet of this stuff, just as well use it. Otherwise it's going to get tossed on the shelf and it's probably going to be there for a long time. But this stuff you can use if you've got hoses that hook up to your rear remotes on implements and stuff like that. Something that may drag the ground occasionally or anything like that. Something like this is really going to help. Alright everyone, you can see it is all installed on this side of Tiny. That should help prolong some of the life of the hoses. Some of this, I could have used probably another foot. I think another foot would have covered everything, but now you can buy a few foot of this at a time in different diameters, different lengths. I figured 1.25 inches for these two smaller hoses, and 10 foot was going to be more than enough, and it was. Had about 3 foot left over, but that was okay. I used it for some of these other hoses that would be rubbing up against. So shouldn't have any issues with hoses rubbing holes in them using this Outback Wrap. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. This stuff really wasn't that expensive. If I can remember, whenever I'm editing, I'll go ahead and I'll drop a link to this. I bought it on Amazon. I don't remember exactly how much it was. It wasn't that bad for what it is. Hydraulic hoses are expensive to have them replaced, so this stuff, just kind of one of those preventive maintenance type deals that you probably should use. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Drop a comment on if you use something similar to this or if you use some other type of stuff. I've seen where people have used fire hose in the past. With that, you normally have to take off the ends and then slide the hose over it and then couple it back up. I could see that working. That stuff's pretty strong too. I know some other manufacturers like Caterpillar, they have their own kind of wrap that they use on a lot of their hoses and different things. I'm sure Komatsu and Kubota and a lot of the other manufacturers do as well. But everyone, I do appreciate you taking time to watch the video. If you would, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.